What up, Hyperchange? Welcome to another live stream. We are live analyzing Cash App has just dropped merch. This was a totally unexpected thing that caught me by surprise. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I thought this was such a cool marketing stunt. Cash App, the fintech, I think is building a bank for 30 million people right now. It's one of the most under the radar, underappreciated businesses on Wall Street. Is game changing, led by Jack Dorsey, and they dropped merch. Cash App has been killing it with their marketing campaigns. I'm waiting for a thumbs up if you can hear me or in the chat. And then I'm going to show you, I have a bunch of content lined up here about this because this is just absolutely epic. The Cash App merch they dropped, I can even show you to start. Here was the tweet that led me to it. Jack Dorsey basically saying the Cash App team did an incredible job on this. And they launched this merch, which is like this super artistic, wild video. And then they have here, they launched this entire merch store. I think if we refresh this, you can see how wild this site was. Maybe not, but Cash App has cracked the code on viral marketing. And I think this is fascinating. Are you giving me the thumbs up? All right, now we're going to play this video. I also thought the music, I might not have the rights to, so we're going to be bumping an original Hyperchange track that I made. Hopefully you can hear it. No. Wow, massive technical difficulties. Don't worry, we got this though. This is such a cool video. I promise it's going to be worth it. This is like, I can't believe that Cash App did this because to me, this is like so unique, so innovative. I think this is, I'm just going to set this up for you. I think this is the future of marketing. I think what Cash App did, investing in content, products, viral, authentic exposure, this is a case study that everybody in business should be following. Who thought a bank should be launching a dope streetwear line of merch? Well, that is what's happened. So let's check it out and see what they got. Okay, there you have it. I thought that was so epic. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm just hyped. I have my music playing. Let me figure out how to stop that. But yeah, so that is the promo that Cash App just dropped. And now let's go to the website so I can show you this. I'm sorry, this live stream's a little bit different, but I'm just kind of having fun with it. This is the Square merch store that apparently has dropped. And they haven't even officially said anything. Like I Googled Cash App merch. This literally just happened on Twitter. Like Cash App tweeted this 10 a.m. I think that was it's like 2 p.m. right now Pacific time. So this is super new and they've launched this Cash App store. So let's check it out. We've got like this money friend. I don't know what this is. I gotta be honest. This is out of my depth. Yeah, right? Where's Venmo launching this? But I don't know. To me, this is fascinating. And I think this is such a genius investment versus, the traditional advertising or, BS advertising that people don't want. How about making really, really cool merch? You already copped some fits. That's hilarious. Yeah. And so I think this is epic. Okay. Yes. I'm not an investor in Square stock, but I'm a huge fan of Square. I made a video like 2 years ago. If there's one stock I could buy that wasn't Tesla, it would be Square, because I think Square is absolutely crushing it. Should I go to, here, I can take you to the hyper charts of Square if we want to go over here and I can show you why I think Square is crushing it. But I think this is one of the most under the radar companies. I think they're secretly building a bank for 30 million people right now. This is Cash App, the app that we're looking at launched merch, has 33 million customers. This is absolutely insane growth. I mean, from where are we at here? 20 million, 24 million. So 20 million to 33 million. So that's over 50% growth in Cash App traction. And I think this is, secretly Square's basically stealth business that is worth entirely more than the $76 trillion market cap, because this Cash App is 33 million people who they are building a bank for. And if you think about Cash App, what's been insane is the pace of innovation of Cash App. They started with just, okay, send money to people for free. It's just like Venmo. I was like, who cares? What's the even big deal about this? But then it's like, wait, Cash App's rolling out Bitcoin trading. Now we're going to allow you to trade Bitcoin. So let's look at what happened to Square's financials. Bitcoin trading has exploded as a piece of the business. Look at this revenue from Bitcoin. Now this is super low gross margin revenue. So 1.63 billion is actually really low gross profit, but still a huge chunk of Square's business that has totally exploded just out of the Cash App. Also in the Cash App business is part of their subscription and services revenue, which we can zoom into. This ties into a lot of Square's payment software revenue, but also does Cash App revenue as well. So as you can see, if we combine the both of these, look at Cash App. Absolutely crushing it. And I think this is what's going to be driving Square's business. And the Bitcoin revenue is super low gross margin. So I'm getting a little bit off track here, but I wanted to show you the financials. The gross profit overall, this is the only thing I care about, is this chart right here with the gross profit of Square going to 800 million. I mean, from 500 million. So huge growth in Square as the profitability of this company is really hitting an inflection point as they basically have Cash App that hits scale. So Cash App to me is single-handedly responsible for this 50 million operating income. It's responsible for the revenue growth. This entire monster quarter was done by Cash App. And I do think Anthony, great question on the Bitcoin revenue. I think that the Bitcoin revenue, they should count net revenue from Bitcoin, not all of the revenue. And that's an accounting adjustment I would make if I was Square's team. But anyway, we're getting sidetracked. You got me hyped on the Square stock. I'm not an investor, but I wish I was. And because I think they're absolutely crushing it. Here's their gross payment volume on their platform that's transacted. So there's $31 billion each quarter of payments and sellers that are transacting on the Square platform. And then on the other side of it, you have 33 million of these users. So this is the amazing worlds of Square. We have Square, the payment company that's for businesses, and then Cash App, the consumer app. 33 million people on the consumer app, $31 billion worth of on the business app, and they're merging, and the payment and these two ecosystems merging is a huge business opportunity. That's why what they're doing with Bitcoin is so fascinating, because Bitcoin is the pipe that connects these sellers. Square's paying a 3% fee to the credit card companies and banks to make every single payment. That's a huge friction on the entire system. If they can use Bitcoin to do that with Cash App connecting to their payments network, this is going to be an absolutely game changer of a company. I think Square is $1 trillion company in the making. I know I always say that, but I actually really do believe that. And it's going to take a few years to get there. But I think Cash App, if it can continue as this bank for 33 million people, I mean, this is huge. 33 million people, and they just rolled out stock trading, and then they have, Bitcoin investing. They're really international payments. This is becoming a true bank. The reason why I'm not owning Square right now is because I'm just broke. I don't have free cash laying around. Anyway, let's go back to this merch idea, because what Cash App has killed it, 33 million. They've crushed Venmo in usefulness because of just this viral marketing stuff. And I know the merch is trash. It looks weird, but I just wanted to kind of document this as a case study. I mean, look at some of this stuff. I don't know if could I pull this off? Man, I don't know, but I kind of love this. To me, this is actually really fun, cool, quirky clothing. And I don't know. I just think, I can't believe they did this. I saw this tweet and I was like, no way. Did they actually, do this? And so I think the Cash App is, they partnered with GOAT. They're doing the sneaker app partnership. They just do a lot of really interesting stuff with their marketing that I think is very uncharacteristic, and in many ways has been the secret sauce for Cash App. They were a big TikTok thing. I think they're in all these different rap and hip hop songs. I mean, I think look at the art and the, who thought a bank and a payment company would need this crazy artistic, stuff. I don't know. I think this is insane. And as much as you might say it's ugly, all about that stuff, we're talking about it. Oh, and they're taking on Shopify as well, because the merch site is hosted by Square. Okay, I'm going to add this to the broadcast. Yo, that's a really good comment that I actually want to highlight here, is that I think Square is going to compete with Shopify because they bought Weebly, which is something huge. So that's one thing that I think Square is a stealth, what does Shopify do and Square do in common that are such fascinating, powerful businesses to me? They allow any consumer to leverage the power of technology, internet, to accept payments and sell their product. And so I think this is a huge opportunity for, Square. They bought Weebly, and so they wanted to set up website presence, kind of compete with Shopify, integrate their e-commerce there. I don't know how well that's been going, but I think that's a huge part of the thesis that potentially me is, one of the biggest competitors for Square is Shopify. But Shopify doesn't have the Cash App. And so that's one of the things, like when you think about companies and intangibles about companies, like how do I remove your comment from the broadcast? But when I think about analyzing different companies like Square, Jack Dorsey, like this leadership component is so fascinating. Like I always say, Tesla is like a call option on Elon Musk's brain. Well, Square is a call option on part of Jack Dorsey's brain, because you're seeing like Cash App. He puts his hacking engineering team right on this project to develop this bank, and they have an amazing engineer. They have Jack Dorsey, who's a hacker coder himself, which I absolutely love. That's kind of his ethos and where he comes from. But they just invented this Cash App thing out of thin air 3 or 4 years ago, and now it's worth $20 billion on its own. So that's nothing to do with Square's core business, and is going to augment and accelerate Square's core business, and gives them, so that's just another example of how leadership is by far the most intangible asset on any balance sheet or anything like that. The other thing I wanted to say about Square and Bitcoin, I'm a big Bitcoin investor. I've been watching this Bitcoin move happen. Square is single-handedly facilitating Bitcoin to millions of people. This 33 million people that are on the Cash App are now all of a sudden easily into the Bitcoin ecosystem. So I look at this as a potential monthly active users for Bitcoin. And so I think this is an insanely underrated thing that both Cash App and Bitcoin are going to benefit from, as Cash App's going to pioneer Bitcoin, make it usable, implement layer 2 Lightning solutions so it can be used for micropayments. And they're going to single-handedly fulfill the prophecy of Bitcoin becoming the internet's digital currency by literally placing it front and center on the internet's largest wallet application, which is Cash App. So that is why you're saying Taisto, MasterCard's current market cap's $350 billion, Visa's another $350 billion. All they're doing is just like swiping and doing that, taking this toll for doing nothing. And that's like $1 trillion a market cap for these credit card companies. And so, I look at Bitcoin as eventually way cheaper, easier backbone platform to do it. Square's the front end. I mean, we're talking about that $1 trillion. And this is, once we get rid of these legacy banking pipes and implement the new digital 2.0 software payment pipes of the digital economy, I think the value goes even up. So, do you want to buy Bitcoin at $300 billion or Square at $70 billion when Square is the front end UI accessing this ecosystem, making this ecosystem accessible? I think this is crazy. Yeah, the 100 Thieves with Cash App. They sponsored like this gaming kind of hub. Really cool. Actually, just recorded a podcast kind of about 100 Thieves, influencer economy. That'll come out. We talked about that. But yeah, I mean, it's Cash App. Yeah, Cash App and Square are the same company, and eventually they will merge. But I think this Bitcoin thesis, I think I'm bullish on my biggest reason I'm bullish on Bitcoin is because Cash App and Square and Jack Dorsey are going to push Bitcoin heavily. And so if you have the world's largest payment company pushing a payment technology, the chances of that payment technology are going to go up. I mean, the value of Bitcoin to me is, basically its utility. How easy is it to spend it and how many people will accept it? And so if the value of Bitcoin inherently increases by way more technology and companies and services being able to accept it and use it. And so I think Cash App will single-handedly fulfill the prophecy of Bitcoin, if that makes sense. And both Bitcoin and Cash App will become massive businesses in the face of all of this. And people are talking about, okay, let's value Square. I don't know. Should we have some fun with that? So I think let's value them on a price gross profit basis. Square, $800 million of gross profit. That's $3.2 billion in annual gross profit, run rate right now for 76. So it's a 20 times gross profit multiple, but that gross profit is growing at an insane clip of, what's that, 60% or 80%. So you have 80, it's only 25 times gross profit growing at 80% annualized. I think that's a dirt cheap multiple for a company that I think is going to grow insane amounts going forward here. So now we're on hypercharts.co/compare premium feature. This is so cool. You can just go to hypercharts.co if you want to try and follow along here, but I'm going to do Square versus, let's say, like Amazon gross profit multiple. So I think this is interesting where you have companies like, I guess Amazon is only 10x gross profit, Square looking at 20x gross profit, but I think this number is a little bit outdated because it might be the rolling. of 4 quarters. At just the last quarter, this would be a cheaper and compressed. But I think the gross profit multiple of Square to me looks very cheap when adjusted for their growth rate. So like Spotify and Square, those are two companies I'm looking at. You know, Square cheaper than Spotify on a gross profit basis, yet growing much quicker. Let's see, what's another fun company we could do here? Twitter, I guess, even cheaper, but Twitter with no growth, also trading in that similar range of price sales multiples. So I don't know. If I think if you assume that Square keeps growing at like this 70% multiple, you know, look at Shopify's gross profit multiple, 70x. And to me, Shopify is potentially Square's biggest competition at 19x. And so I don't know. I think there's a lot here, but to me, when I look at a price gross profit multiple for Square, I think it actually looks extremely cheap for how they're positioned and how fast they're growing. And that's just, you know, I think they're a $100 billion company today. They're trading for $75 billion. I think that $100 billion value is compounding at 50 to 70% CAGR in real time, or like annually, but just every day that goes on, it compounds that at an annual clip. And so, and yeah, so this is my analysis on Cash App. I think this is such a cool like case study of what is a fintech company doing launching merch. I'm gonna play this for you one more time as we end the live stream, so you can really soak in this Cash App epicness. Wait, let me play my jams too. If you have any more questions, leave them in the chat. I'll try and get to them after this. But yeah, we got to just soak this in because this is the marketing material. Like, what bank would do this? I mean, the production value on this video is off the charts, right? Like, there's just no denying it. I mean, it looks, I gotta be honest, I'm disappointed with the store because when I saw this video, I was like, dude, this is so like, it just looks like it came from the future. And that's how I decide whether I like something or not. You know, maybe I'm not, it's not my vibe, it's not my style, but I was like, bro, this is totally looking like the future. Cash App FC, anybody copping this? All right, there you have it, folks. Cash App live stream, an epic marketing case study. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm so curious. Is this ridiculous? Are you gonna buy it? Does this change what you think of Cash App as the hottest fintech company in the market right now? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Peace.